Now, Luffy remembered Ace's words. Listen up, Luffy, we've got to live without regrets, and we'll be freer than anyone else. But, Ace was captured by the Marines. So, Luffy along with the Whitebeard pirates, went to Marine headquarters to rescue Ace. The battle between the Marines and the pirates was fierce, and Luffy faced off against all three admirals alone. When he managed to surpass them, he was kicked away by Kizaru, but thanks to the support of the Whitebeard pirates and Ivankov. So, Luffy advanced closer to Ace's execution platform. Suddenly, Garp appeared, blocking Luffy's path, but he immediately defeated his own grandfather. Thus, Luffy met Ace. However, he still had to face Fleet Admiral Sengoku. With just one fist, Sengoku destroyed the execution platform, but Luffy managed to block his fist. In the end, Luffy saved Ace, making him very happy. Unexpectedly, Ace did it to protect Luffy, causing him to be seriously injured. At this moment, Ace said, "Old man, everyone, and you, Luffy, even though I've been good for nothing my whole life, even though I have the blood of a demon within me, you guys still loved me. Thank you so much." Finally, Ace died in front of Luffy, leaving him in immense agony. Suddenly, Luffy woke up. Rayleigh realized Luffy had encountered a nightmare, so he immediately gave him water to calm down. It turned out that after Ace's death, Luffy was in immense agony. But thanks to Jinbei's help, Luffy regained his composure, and Rayleigh proposed to train Luffy for 2 years. At this point, he began instructing Luffy about haki. Rayleigh explained that there are 3 types of haki: observation haki, armament haki, and finally, conqueror's haki. This made the giant elephant faint, surprising Luffy. So, Luffy began his 2-year training. At this point, he remembered his comrades. First, Zoro. After his battle with Mihawk, Zoro promised Luffy, "Until I become the strongest swordsman, I won't lose again." Next is Usopp. He wants to become the bravest warrior of the sea. Then there's Nami. "Luffy, help me." So, Luffy immediately defeated the Arlong pirates. "Nami, you're my crewmate." Next is Sanji. His dream is to find the All Blue, and he promised to become the chef on Luffy's ship. Then there's Chopper. Although he's always seen as a monster, Luffy still wants Chopper to be his friend. After that is Robin. Luffy was even ready to declare war on the world government to save Robin. Next is Frankie. His dream is to build a magnificent ship to help Luffy become the Pirate King. Then there's Brook. Luffy helped him retrieve his shadow, making him very happy to be alive. So, Brook agreed to join Luffy's crew. At this point, Luffy wants to become even stronger, and he could protect his friends. The next morning, Luffy continued his training. He was determined to defeat this giant gorilla. Suddenly, he was attacked by a bird. Unexpectedly, Luffy retaliated using armament haki. While he was searching for the gorilla, a black rabbit attacked him, but it was immediately repelled by Luffy using Gear 2, making the black rabbit angry. So, it slapped Luffy and ran away. Rayleigh said that those rabbits have very high defensive capabilities. If Luffy can use armament haki, he can defeat it, and if Luffy can use observation haki, he can sense the presence and strength of his opponent. So, Rayleigh blindfolded Luffy to train him in observation haki. This caused Luffy to fall because he couldn't see anything. Rayleigh said, "Use all your senses, because if he only relies on his eyes, Luffy won't be able to keep up with the speed of light, like when he fought Kizaru." So, Luffy began to sense, but he immediately got chased by the gorilla and lion, leaving Rayleigh powerless. At this time, in another sea area, the marine forces are protecting the celestial dragons from a dangerous pirate crew. It turns out they were the crew of Burndy World. Seeing his subordinates taking too long to deal with the marines, he ordered the 3 commanders to eliminate them. Very quickly, they managed to infiltrate the marine ship and immediately destroyed one of their vessels. At this point, the captain decided to take action, so he flew into the sky and approached the marine ship. They recognized him as Burndy World, and he immediately used his devil fruit power to turn bullets into giant ones, destroying the marine ship, leaving the marines extremely terrified. So, he continued to jump and transformed into a giant scythe, directly destroying the celestial dragon's battleships. Seeing him defeat the marines in just 50 seconds, made his subordinates terrified. He even attacked his own crew members for not completing the mission within his set time frame. On Boa Hancock's island, she was very worried about Luffy, so she wanted to cook many delicious dishes for him. But Elder Nyan stopped Boa Hancock. because Rayleigh had instructed them not to disturb Luffy's training, making Boa Hancock furious, so she decided to send someone to deliver food to Luffy. Suddenly, they received a letter. It turns out the world government was gathering the 7 warlords of the sea again. Elder Nyan realized something serious was happening. But Boa Hancock didn't care, because she only thought about Luffy. On the side of Burndy World, they were inspecting his new weapons. With just one shot, he destroyed the entire island, making his 3 commanders very pleased, because after 30 years of effort, they had finally created this weapon. Just waiting for Burndy World to return to carry out their plan. It turns out that when this giant cannon, combined with his devil fruit power, the more fruit, it increased the size of the cannonball by over 100 times, so it could destroy anything, even Marine headquarters and Mary Joie's, making him very pleased. But his brother, Bojack, saw this as not being easy. Bojack worried that the world government knew he was back, because the world government had started to gather the 7 warlords of the sea. But Burndy World didn't know who the 7 warlords of the sea were. It turns out he didn't know, because he had been imprisoned and impelled down for too long. So, Bojack explained, the 7 warlords of the sea are a powerful group of pirates, and they work for the world government. At this point, Bojack had gathered all the information about the 7 warlords of the sea, but he didn't care, and felt excited, because if the 7 warlords of the sea gathered again, then he could take care of all of them. On Luffy's side, he was still training with the gorilla, but he was knocked down by it. Next was a crocodile, and then a lion. By evening, Luffy was very angry, because he still couldn't defeat those 3 animals, so he ate quickly to get back to fighting them, which made Rayleigh happy, and he said, "Don't die." At this point, Luffy blindfolded himself and entered the forest to find the 3 beasts. Suddenly, he caught a whiff of food, so Luffy followed it and discovered a plethora of food. This made him very happy. It turns out Boa Hancock's little sister had brought food for him. Knowing that Luffy was still healthy, made Boa Hancock very relieved. Elder Nyan realized that Hancock liked Luffy to an extent that was beyond cure. While Luffy was happily enjoying his meal, Burndy World found Boa Hancock's 2 sisters. He immediately attacked them, but they didn't know who Burndy World was. Elder Nyan recognized him. Burndy World is the pirate the world government wants to capture. At this point, Burndy World realized Boa Hancock wasn't there, but he recognized Sonia and Mari as Boa Hancock's sisters. So, he attacked them, and he knocked them flying to Luffy's location, making Luffy very happy, because he realized they brought food for him. Sonia and Mari were unexpectedly captured by Burndy World, making Luffy furious for daring to attack his friends. So, Luffy immediately confronted him, but he used armament haki to block Luffy's attack, and he immediately sent him flying into the mountains. Suddenly, he used his devil fruit power to throw a large rock towards Luffy, causing Boa Hancock to worry. Burndy World said to her, "If you want to save your 2 sisters, come find me." Then, he took Sonia and Mari away. Meanwhile, Bojack felt he heard where Luffy's name was mentioned. At this moment, Luffy woke up and saw Hancock and Rayleigh, so they informed Luffy. Sonia and Mari were taken by Burndy World. Boa Hancock realized he was targeting her, thus, Luffy decided to go with Hancock to rescue her 2 sisters. But Rayleigh told Luffy he still hasn't mastered haki. If he goes, he could die. However, Luffy was still determined to go, because they were bringing food for him. Rayleigh realized he couldn't change Luffy's decision, so he said, "You must survive and come back." On Kizaru's side, they received the news that Burndy World had returned. He even attacked celestial dragons, pirates, and marines. Akainu realized the world government was gathering the 7 warlords of the sea again, to prevent the 7 warlords from cooperating with Burndy World, because 30 years ago, he was known as the World Destroyer, so the world government sees him as a major threat. On Luffy's side, Elder Nyan also told him about the danger of Burndy World, and 30 years ago, the world government planted spies in his crew, so since then, he hasn't trusted anyone. Suru remembered that at that time, Kizaru was just a rookie. After Burndy World's pirate crew was defeated, he was imprisoned on level 6 of Impelled Down. Akainu realizes that Luffy and Blackbeard inadvertently helped him escape. Suru said that his devil fruit, the more fruit, is very powerful, because it can enlarge objects and increase their speed hundreds of times. At this point, Akainu decided he must capture him. On Burndy World's side, he was planning to destroy Marineford. Then, he would head straight to Mary Joie's, but Bojack opposed this, making Burndy World furious. because he wanted everyone to obey his orders. On Luffy's side, they arrived at Burndy World's location. Suddenly, an island emerged on the sea, making everyone surprised. It turns out that was Burndy World's ship. At this point, Burndy World also appeared, seeing Sonya and Mari being captured, making Luffy and Boa Hancock worried. Burndy World began attacking them. So, Luffy enlarged his body to block the cannonballs. Burndy World continues to enlarge the cannonballs by 50 times, and combined them with Haki to attack Luffy, causing him to be injured and fall into the sea. So, Boa Hancock's snake immediately jumped into the sea to save him, making Boa Hancock very worried. Burndy World told her to surrender to him, but Boa Hancock immediately jumped in to attack them. She was very angry for him daring to attack her husband, and Boa Hancock turned Burndy World's henchmen into stone. At this point, Luffy was rescued. Seeing Luffy safe, so she felt relieved. When Luffy and Boa Hancock were about to run inside the ship, they were immediately hit by a water beam. Luckily, Luffy managed to pull Boa Hancock back in time. It turns out he was Sebastian, one of Burndy World's 3 commanders, so he immediately attacked Luffy and Boa Hancock. When Boa Hancock tried to use her power to turn him into stone, but he remained unaffected. It turns out Sebastian is blind, thus, he's not mesmerized by Boa Hancock's beauty. Luffy immediately punched him straight in the face, but he could still stand up, so he continued to attack them. At this moment, Buggy was on his way to the world government's gathering place, because he had become one of the 7 warlords. Suddenly, he saw Luffy and Boa Hancock fighting on Burndy World's ship, which surprised him greatly, but Buggy came up with a plan, which was to wait for Luffy to defeat Burndy World, and then he would claim the Marine's bounty, while Sebastian jumped into the water, and he used water bullets to attack them. Seeing him hit Luffy made Boa Hancock furious, so she immediately attacked him, but Sebastian disappeared, and he counterattacked Hancock. So, Luffy blocked the attack for her, making Buggy worried, because he thought Luffy would lose. When Sebastian continued to attack them, Luffy immediately used Gear 3, and punched Sebastian towards Burndy World. So, he was defeated. Luffy and Hancock continued to move inside. When Sebastian wanted to stop them again, Perona appeared, and she immediately drained his willpower. Luffy realized Perona had helped him, so he thanked her. It turns out Perona followed Mihawk here. Suddenly, Luffy and Boa Hancock fell into a trap. While Luffy didn't know where he was, Boa Hancock felt jealous, and asked who the girl was. But Luffy didn't remember her either, so Hancock immediately thinks Luffy is having an affair. At this moment, Mihawk was also observing Luffy. On Luffy's side, they were trying to find a way out, and they arrived at a room. Suddenly, Luffy was separated from Boa Hancock, making her worried, while Burndy World appeared in front of Luffy. So, Luffy told Hancock to go save her sisters, and he would fight Burndy World. At this moment, Bojack informed Burndy World that Luffy was the one who survived the Battle of Marineford to save Ace, and he is Garp's grandson, which surprised him. Burndy World asked, "Have you saved your brother yet?" This reminded Luffy of Ace's death, so he angrily attacked him, but he moved very quickly, thus, Luffy couldn't hit him. He then used Gear 2, but Burndy World also knocked him away with Haki. At this moment, he thought Luffy couldn't defeat him. However, he stood up and immediately attacked him with Haki, surprising Burndy World. But he realized Luffy still hasn't mastered Haki. He said, "You're too weak to save your brother." So, Burndy World continued to attack him, and Luffy was defeated. At this point, Burndy World decided to find Boa Hancock. Buggy saw Luffy being defeated, making him very worried, so he decided to help Luffy wake up to defeat Burndy World. Burndy World was reminiscing about when he was surrounded by Garp and Sengoku, thinking his pirate crew would escape. Suddenly, he was betrayed by his own crew members. It turns out the world government had bribed them. Finally, he was defeated by Cypher Pole agents, while Bojack and his 3 commanders fled. So, Burndy World thought he had been betrayed by everyone. On Buggy's side, he was trying to wake up Luffy, while he remembered the battle at Sabaody, where his teammates were separated, along with Ace's death. While Boa Hancock was very worried about Luffy, she realized Luffy risked his life for her, making Boa Hancock very happy. At this moment, she entered a room filled with the smell of medicine. Suddenly, she encountered an old woman. It turns out she was Knighton, one of Burndy World's commanders, and she mocked Boa Hancock for being too young to be a 7 warlords of the sea. Knighton even thought of a way to neutralize Boa Hancock's devil fruit power. when Boa Hancock attacked her. Knighton immediately drank a strange potion, making her feel very bitter, so she was not affected by Boa Hancock's powers. Knighton immediately used another type of medicine to attack Hancock, making her clothes tattered. Next, Knighton used her secret potion to transform her body into a beautiful young woman. Then, Knighton continuously attacked Hancock, but she managed to dodge every attack. Hancock then used her devil fruit power to shoot many arrows towards Knighton. However, Knighton managed to block them. Seeing Knighton so confident, Boa Hancock continued to attack, but Knighton easily countered each move. Suddenly, Boa Hancock mesmerized her, causing Knighton to lose control, so she immediately took a bitter potion to regain control of herself. However, seeing Boa Hancock's incredibly beautiful body, Knighton couldn't bring herself to strike Hancock, and continued to be mesmerized by her. Knighton was forced to continuously take the medicine. Although she had a liking for men, she couldn't resist Hancock's allure. Eventually, Knighton vomited out all the medicine, returning to normal, so Hancock turned her into stone. Because nothing in this world could resist Hancock's beauty. On Buggy's side, he was still trying to wake up Luffy. While Luffy remembered his promise to Rayleigh, along with his comrades, and the words of Burndy World, "Someone as weak as you can't save anyone," helped Luffy wake up, surprising Buggy. At this moment, he was determined to defeat Burndy World. But Luffy got lost. Turns out he fell into a trap set by Gairam, so he immediately used his devil fruit power and continued to control square blocks to attack Luffy, leading Luffy into his room. Turns out he had eaten the cube devil fruit, allowing him to create and control cubic blocks. So he immediately attacked Luffy, knocking him to the ground. Although Luffy kept blocking his cubic blocks, he still managed to catch him. Thinking he had defeated Luffy, he then noticed Buggy's group, so he attacked them, inadvertently helping Luffy escape. Buggy realized that if Luffy couldn't defeat Burndy World, his plan would fail, and he saw his followers worshipping him. So, Buggy decided to deal with Gairam to allow Luffy to go after Burndy World, making Luffy very happy as he left. Suddenly, Gairam condensed the air into cubic blocks and immediately attacked them. Fortunately, Mr. 3 managed to intercept him, but he was too strong. Gairam turned Buggy into a cubic block, leaving Buggy terrified, because he could only dodge Gairam's attacks. When Gairam was about to deal with Buggy, Buggy used his devil fruit power, accidentally returning him to normal. But Buggy then shrank in size. Turns out his body was being held by Gairam. At this point, Buggy decided to use his secret weapon. When Gairam condensed the air to attack him, Buggy fired a smoke bomb from his foot, helping him regain his body. While Gairam was surprised, suddenly, Boa Hancock appeared and defeated him. Turns out she was looking for Luffy. When the black smoke clears, Buggy's followers thought he had defeated Gairam, increasing their admiration for Buggy. On Burndy World's side, seeing all his subordinates defeated, but he still didn't care, and scolded them as useless. Bojack realized his younger brother had changed a lot, so he asked Burndy World, "Have you forgotten our dream?" At this moment, Burndy World remembered their childhood dream. Turns out their dream was to explore this world, but Bojack's body was very weak, so Burndy World promised to protect him, and they would explore this world together. Then, they set sail, and Burndy World established his own pirate crew. Once, when Bojack was captured, Burndy World's crew immediately rescued him, because the two brothers always trusted each other. Afterwards, Burndy World was wanted by the Marines for 200 million berries. They even attacked the world government's ship, so Burndy World's bounty increased to 500 million berries, and he was fiercely pursued by the world government. Thus, they decided to create a submarine ship, along with a massive cannon capable of destroying everything. But now Burndy World had changed. He wants to destroy this world, which worries Burndy greatly. Finally, Luffy managed to find Hancock's two sisters when suddenly, Burndy World appeared. He decided to defeat Luffy within 30 seconds, immediately attacking him at lightning speed, making it impossible for Luffy to dodge. But Luffy didn't give up. He grabbed onto Burndy's leg, restricting his movement. So, Luffy kept attacking Burndy World relentlessly, but he managed to evade and counterattack, even increasing his speed by 50 times. Yet, Luffy could still stand up. He then used Gear 3 to attack Burndy World. However, he blocked the punch with Haki. So, Luffy also used Haki to fight him. Unexpectedly, Burndy World's speed was too fast. Thus, Luffy couldn't land a hit, and he was struck by Burndy World into a spiky wall. Burndy World then said, "Whether they're teammates or siblings, if you're too weak, you won't be able to protect anyone." On Buggy's side, he found a way out. Suddenly, he saw many marine ships approaching. Akainu ordered an attack on the ship, making Buggy anxious. Meanwhile, Burndy World realized they were being attacked, so he ordered Bojack to use the giant cannon to shoot back at them. But Bojack opposed this decision. When Burndy World got angry, because he no longer saw anyone as his teammates anymore, and they are all just tools of his, including Bojack. When Burndy World intended to attack him, then Luffy immediately intervened. Surprising Burndy World, Luffy said, "If you see your teammates only as tools, you're just a miserable wretch." So, Luffy punched Burndy World in the face. At this moment, Boa Hancock also arrived. So, Luffy told her to quickly rescue his two sisters. Hancock immediately rescued Sonya and Mari. Thus, Luffy could focus on fighting Burndy World. Then, Luffy used Haki to fight him. Unexpectedly, this time he hit Burndy World. Suddenly, he blamed Luffy for abandoning his brother to die, causing him to lose focus. So, Burndy World knocked Luffy down. But, Luffy still tried to stand up and said, "Even though I couldn't save my brother, I still have teammates waiting for me." Thus, Luffy continued to fight against him. Unexpectedly, he managed to knock down Burndy World. He realized that the more Luffy fought back, the stronger he became. Luffy continued to use a barrage of punches to attack him. So, Burndy World immediately fought back. Luffy kept using his fiery punch technique to attack him. It turned out that this technique of Luffy carried the will of Ace, and delivered a powerful blow to Burndy World, causing him to crash into the spiked wall. Finally, Luffy had defeated Burndy World, so he immediately went to find Hancock. On Buggy's side, he was sneaking away from the ship, and Boa Hancock was very worried about him. Meanwhile, Burndy World had regained consciousness, but he realized he couldn't escape anymore, so he decided to retaliate against the Marines, and he apologized to Bojack. At this moment, Bojack realized he still resented his teammates for abandoning him, so Burndy World began to activate the giant cannon. While Luffy still hadn't found a way out, Akainu immediately attacked to stop Burndy World. But he had increased the cannon's power by 100 times, and fired at the marine ships. Seeing the colossal cannonball, the Marines were terrified. Luckily, Mihawk managed to cut the cannonball in half just in time, ensuring the safety of the Marines. This surprised Burndy World, but he too had exhausted himself and collapsed. Bojack realized they had failed, but he still wants to set sail with his younger brother. Meanwhile, Boa Hancock was still very worried about Luffy. Then, Burndy World's ship exploded, leaving Boa Hancock shocked. Suddenly, Luffy appeared in the sky, so he jumped onto Hancock's ship, making her very happy to see Luffy alive. Mihawk also noticed that Luffy had escaped. At this point, Luffy returned to continue training with Rayleigh. He said he had taught Luffy all the basics of Haki, so he had nothing more to teach him, and Rayleigh decided to return to Sabaody. Now, Luffy realized that a year and a half had passed, so he decided to continue training for another 6 months. Then, he would return to reunite with his crewmates. Thus, Rayleigh departed. Finally, 2 years had passed. Now, Luffy had completed his training. Thus, he returned to the giant white turnip to retrieve his straw hat. While the gorilla and crocodile were fighting over food, the lion threatened Marguerite when it saw her. Suddenly, Luffy appeared and said, "She's my friend." This made them frightened. It turned out Marguerite had come here to pick up Luffy. So, Luffy bid farewell to these 3 animals, as they had helped him train. Meanwhile, Boa Hancock was thinking about marrying Luffy. But Luffy said, "I won't marry you." So, Luffy set sail for Sabaody. Meanwhile, Rayleigh was waiting for the Straw Hat crew to return. They felt like the 2 years had passed quickly. Suddenly, the first person appeared. It turned out to be Zoro, which made him very happy, because he was the first one. The next day, inside a bar, Nami overheard information about the Marines. It turns out that after the battle, Sengoku resigned, and there was someone to replace him as Fleet Admiral. Suddenly, she heard news that the Straw Hat Pirates were recruiting members, which excited the pirates here. But they only recruited pirates worth over 100 million berries. Suddenly, fake Straw Hat Pirates appeared. Meanwhile, Brook had become a famous singer, with the nickname Soul King, helping 3 Long-Arm tribe members earn a lot of money. So, he began performing for everyone, making the people here very happy, while Sankin was very angry. because he realized that today Brooke would leave, so he decided to call the Marines. On Sanji's side, he had also arrived at Sabaody. As soon as he saw women, Sanji became thrilled, because he had been on the transvestite island for too long, so they bid him farewell. But Sanji was very happy to escape from that hell. On the side of the fake Straw Hat pirates, they are attacking weaker individuals, because they are seeking individuals with bounties over 100 million berries. He even used Dragon Sun's name to threaten them. At this moment, he realized that there were two very strong individuals. Those were Caribou and Korobu. There are bounties of 210 million and 190 million berries. Suddenly, he saw Nami, so he wanted her to drink with him. But Nami flatly refused him, leaving everyone terrified, because they were so terrifying, seeing Nami still rejecting him, causing the fake Luffy to appear very angry. When the fake Nami was about to finish off Nami, Usopp appeared and attacked her, summoning a man-eating plant to capture them. When Nami realized it was Usopp, Nami was very happy. At this moment, Usopp confidently declared he had become a true warrior, because they don't want to stay here with these imposters any longer. Nami immediately led Usopp away. Suddenly, they saw a dark cloud overhead, and Nami struck them with a very powerful lightning bolt. Luckily, they were still alive, so they were determined to revenge Nami. Meanwhile, Robin was being followed, but she managed to escape. At this point, Frankie returned to the Sunny ship, and he noticed that the Sunny ship didn't have a single scratch. While Chopper wanted to go find Luffy, suddenly, fake Luffy attacked the people here, because he wanted to find the two who had beaten him. Suddenly, the real Luffy appeared, and he accidentally bumped into fake Luffy, making him very angry and telling him to stop. Luffy realized he had encountered trouble, because before arriving at Sabaody, Boa Hancock had given Luffy a fake beard, to avoid attracting attention. She even prepared 50 outfits and 1,000 meals for Luffy, making Elder Nyan angry because it was too much, so Boa Hancock had to leave some behind. At this point, she wanted Luffy to leave without saying goodbye. Luffy said, "I still want to meet you again," making Hancock blush, and she thought Luffy wanted to propose to her. At this time, fake Luffy picked a fight with the real Luffy. On Sanji's side, upon hearing that Zoro was the first to arrive, it surprised him. And Sanji also realized that Duval had helped them protect the Sunny ship. At this time, Rayleigh was eagerly looking forward to meeting Luffy, because he wanted to know how much progress Luffy had made, while Sanji was only thinking about Nami. On Chopper's side, he had seen Zoro, Sanji, and Robin, so he immediately chased after them. At this moment, fake Luffy was asking Luffy, "Do you know who I am?" And he told Luffy to kneel down and apologize to him, making everyone around unable to say anything, even threatening Luffy continuously, because he didn't want to cause any more trouble. So, Luffy immediately apologized and left. Unexpectedly, he pushed fake Luffy again, thus, he attacked him, but Luffy managed to dodge the bullet, and he immediately used Conqueror's Haki, causing the entire fake Luffy crew to pass out, while everyone was surprised, because they didn't know what Luffy had done. On Chopper's side, he was still following the group of fake Zoro, but they found him very familiar, so they immediately took out wanted posters, and realized it was the real Chopper. Thus, they decided to chase away fake Chopper, and tempted the real Chopper to follow them. Suddenly, fake Robin was kidnapped, making Chopper worried and wanting to rescue her. But they said they would find Luffy first, so Chopper decided to follow them, while Sanji was out buying food to cook for his group. But, upon seeing a beautiful woman, he became entranced. Suddenly, Sanji saw an old man looking scared. He said that a green-haired person had disappeared. It turns out Zoro had earlier found the old man, to borrow one of his fishing boats, but Zoro mistakenly boarded a pirate ship, so they submerged into the sea, heading towards the New World, making the old man worried and unsure what to do. This shocked Sanji, who scolded Zoro for being foolish. But Sanji assured the old man that he wouldn't die. Suddenly, a large ship emerged from the surface of the water, making everyone surprised, because the ship had been split in half. It turns out Zoro had cut this ship in half, putting an end to the pirates' dream of reaching the New World. At this moment, Zoro realized, "I boarded the wrong ship." On Robin's side, she found the Sunny ship, making her very happy, because the Sunny was still safe. Suddenly, Frankie also appeared. As soon as he saw Robin, he proudly showed off his new cyborg body, but Robin wasn't interested. At this moment, Robin noticed that the Sunny had been coated with a layer of coating. Frankie said that this was Rayleigh's technique. On Brooke's side, He was still performing for everyone to watch. Meanwhile, Chopper had encountered fake Luffy, but he thought this was the real Luffy, making Chopper very happy. However, fake Luffy was puzzled. Why did he faint? At this moment, fake Zoro informed him that Robin had been kidnapped, making Chopper very worried. But fake Luffy didn't care, and decided to ignore her, making Chopper angry. Chopper couldn't understand why Luffy had changed like that, while he was very resentful towards Usopp, Nami, and Luffy, so he was determined to take revenge on them, immediately making Chopper extremely disappointed. Thus, he decided to go alone to rescue Robin, while the Marines were still monitoring them. But the Marines also thought they were the real Straw Hat Pirates, so they immediately reported to gather all the Marines to prepare to capture the Straw Hat Pirates. Sentomaru also mobilized the Pacifista to capture them. He was determined this time not to let Luffy escape. On Nami's side, she was buying a lot of clothes to prepare for their next journey. She even pressured the shop owner to reduce prices by up to 90%. On Chopper's side, he was very sad, because he saw everyone had changed. They didn't even care about Robin's life or death. Suddenly, Usopp and Nami found him, making them very happy to see Chopper again. At this point, Nami informed Chopper that they were the fake Straw Hat Pirates, making him angry. But Chopper was still happy, because they had met their group again. On the side of fake Zoro and Sanji, they were searching for Chopper. Suddenly, they saw Luffy. They recognized him as the person their captain was looking for. But Luffy thought they were the real Zoro and Sanji, so they led Luffy to meet their captain. On Zoro and Sanji's side, they were arguing. Zoro was the first to arrive, making Sanji uncomfortable, because he kept being called number 7 by Zoro, so both of them started fighting. At this moment, many pirates had gathered to prepare to join the Straw Hat Pirates. The Marines were also monitoring them. They realized that this place was gathering many powerful pirates. Even their bounties were very high. Suddenly, Caribou spotted the Marines. On Brook's side, he had finished performing, making everyone cheer enthusiastically. At this time, Caribou captured the Marine, and he realized that the Marine forces would soon gather here, because this Marine had reported to the headquarters, so he immediately took out his weapons to attack the Marines. Even they wanted to bury him alive. Suddenly, fake Luffy appeared, making the pirates happy. At this moment, fake Luffy said he would become the Pirate King, urging everyone to join his pirate crew, which excited everyone, while fake Zoro and Sanji were leading Luffy to their captain's location. Although they looked very strange, but Luffy still believed they were real. On Brook's side, he noticed that Marines were surrounding the place, so he decided to perform one last time. Suddenly, the Marines began to attack, and announced to everyone that Brook was a member of the Straw Hat Pirates, surprising everyone. It turned out that it was Sankin who had informed the Marines, because he didn't want Brook to leave. On Usopp and Chopper's side, they had returned to the sunny ship. Seeing Frankie made them very excited. At this time, Nami and Robin saw Rayleigh, and he informed them about the current situation. On Brook's side, he wanted to perform one last time, before he returned to being a pirate. Suddenly, Brook thanked Sankrin's group for helping him a lot over the past 2 years, and Brook declared to everyone, Luffy will definitely become the Pirate King. Then he began his performance, making all the audience excited. They even hindered the Marines to let Brook perform on the stage, while Sankin was reminiscing about memories with Brook, making him conflicted, because they realized they couldn't keep Brook anymore. Suddenly, as Brook's performance ended, the Marines realized he had disappeared. On Luffy's side, he were led to the whereabouts of the fake Luffy. On Rayleigh's side, he informed everyone Luffy had arrived on this island, which made them very happy. But Robin was afraid that Luffy would cause trouble, so Chopper said he would go to pick him up. On Brook's side, he had escaped, thanks to Duval's Rosy Life Riders crew coming to pick him up, while Zoro and Sanji were fighting, surprising everyone around. They didn't know how to stop both of them. Suddenly, Frankie called Sanji. He said that the Marines had taken action, and Luffy was also nearby, so they decided to go look for Luffy. On Luffy's side, he had been brought back to the place of the fake Luffy. He told everyone that this person had mocked him, so he wanted to execute Luffy, to warn everyone, while Luffy didn't understand what was happening, and he still thought Zoro and Sanji were real. Suddenly, the Marines appeared, surrounding the pirate gang, immediately causing the fake Luffy to worry, so he ordered Caribou to use the Marines as hostages, making the Marine soldiers terrified. Unexpectedly, Caribou didn't obey the fake Luffy's orders, and he promptly killed the Marine soldiers, surprising everyone. While the Marines were very angry, the pirate gang remained confident and fought against the Marines, because Straw Hat Luffy, the captain of their crew, has a bounty of 400 million. The fake Luffy was furious, because no one listened to him. At this point, the Marines realized there were some very powerful pirates, while Caribou had used his devil fruit power. It turned out his devil fruit was the swamp fruit. Suddenly, the fake Luffy announced, whoever could kill the most Marines would become his right-hand man. Suddenly, pacifistas appeared, making the pirate gang afraid. Suddenly, the pacifistas detected the real Luffy, making the fake Luffy terrified. Unexpectedly, the pacifista effortlessly took down a pirate with a bounty of 88 million with a single blow, helping the Marines regain confidence. At this moment, the fake Luffy tried to escape, while the pirates were being continuously defeated by the pacifistas. Suddenly, the fake Luffy collided with Sentomaru, immediately making him fearful, while the pirate gang was very intrigued, because they were about to witness the strength of Straw Hat Luffy. Sentomaru couldn't understand who he was, so he introduced himself. I am the son of the Dragon Revolutionary Army commander, grandson of the Marines hero Garp, and I am wanted with a bounty of 400 million berries. But before he could finish, Sentomaru struck him hard on the head. Straw Hat is not scum like you. This surprised everyone, because Straw Hat Luffy seemed too weak. Then, Sentomaru ordered the pacifista to identify him. Turns out he was Damaro Black, only wanted with a bounty of 26 million berries. This shocked all the pirates, because they had been deceived by this imposter, thinking Luffy had died. Sentomaru announced that the real Straw Hat Luffy was here. He ordered the pacifista to attack, but Luffy managed to evade in time, causing his disguise to fall off, surprising the pirates, because he looked exactly like in his wanted poster. At this point, the Marines were determined to capture Luffy. Sentomaru said, I have changed in the past 2 years. Now, I have officially become a Marine. And he ordered the pacifista to attack. However, Luffy easily dodged and said, too slow, surprising Sentomaru. Then, Luffy activated Gear 2. As the pacifista continued to attack, Luffy jumped up and struck him down with just one punch, leaving all the pirates astonished. Sentomaru realized he had used Haki. Luffy realized he couldn't stay here any longer, so he immediately ran away. Suddenly, he ran into Zoro and Sanji. Luffy realized this time they must be real. Suddenly, another pacifista attacked them. Thus, Zoro and Sanji immediately defeated him, leaving the pirates astonished, because they were indeed the real Straw Hat crew. Luffy was very happy to see them again. Suddenly, Luffy stopped. It turns out he realized Rayleigh was also here, making the Marines fear. Rayleigh was very happy to see Luffy had grown much stronger. So, Luffy thanked Rayleigh for everything he had taught him over the past 2 years. Luffy promised Rayleigh, I will definitely become the Pirate King, which made Rayleigh very pleased with him. But, the Marines continued to pursue them, so, Luffy had to leave immediately. At this moment, Rayleigh remembered the days of teaching Luffy about Haki. Every day they trained, and Rayleigh had witnessed Luffy growing stronger day by day. So, Rayleigh shouted, reach for the top. Seeing the Marines still chasing after Luffy, Rayleigh blocked their path. I won't allow anyone to hinder my disciples' path. Seeing Rayleigh carve a deep trench into the ground, the Marines were terrified. But there's still another group of the Marines troops blocking Luffy ahead. Suddenly, they lost all their willpower, leaving the naval forces puzzled. It turns out that Perona came to their aid. As soon as they saw Perona, Sanji became delighted. Perona immediately scolded Zoro for getting lost, making her search frantically everywhere. While Sanji was overjoyed, Perona promptly sapped his willpower. Suddenly, a gigantic bird appeared. It turned out Chopper came to pick them up. Meanwhile, Brook was heading back to the sunny ship. Seeing everyone made him very happy. They thought Brook would sing, but Brook asked, can I see your underwear? So, he got hit by Nami. Nami realized he hadn't changed at all. Now, Luffy and the others had returned too, making them very happy, because they finally met Luffy again. Suddenly, Sanji caught sight of Nami and Robin, causing him to have a nosebleed that shot up and fell into the sea, making Chopper and Usopp very worried, because Sanji lost a lot of blood. Meanwhile, Luffy was thrilled to see Frankie's upgraded cyborg body. Suddenly, they were attacked by Marines, making Usopp anxious. Luckily, Boa Hancock appeared to help them, and she had her ship block the Marines. Robin recognized her as Boa Hancock. She's known as the Pirate Empress. When they heard Robin say she's very beautiful, Usopp and Brook immediately looked and realized she's a goddess. So, Sanji also woke up immediately to see Boa Hancock. Unexpectedly, he turned into stone right away, while the Marines didn't know what to do, because Boa Hancock is one of the 7 warlords of the sea, so they couldn't attack her. Now, Boa Hancock returned and signaled to Luffy to leave. Everyone realized she came here to help Luffy, making them very surprised. While Sanji knew Luffy had been taken to the Island of Women, which made him angry, and blamed Luffy. Are you really serious about training? Now, Usopp felt strange, because they didn't see Marines chasing them anymore. On the Marines' side, they were being hindered by a swarm of giant insects. Turns out, Usopp's master has come to help him. On another side of the island, it was raining, causing all the Marines' weapons to get wet. It turned out the professors from the Weatheria Island had helped Nami. Now, Frankie activated the Sunny ship's coating layer, filling the air inside and creating a large bubble, while on another side of the island, the Marines were losing their willpower, because Perona had helped Zoro stop them. Suddenly, Chopper saw 2 Marine ships approaching, but the giant bird immediately tore the sails of the Marine ship when the Marines attacked them. Then, Sanji intervened. However, upon seeing Nami, Sanji began to bleed from his nose again. While many Marines on the island were fighting against those with the heart of a maiden, making the Marines frightened, but also making Sanji feel cold shivers. At this moment, Luffy spoke to everyone. Thank you all for enduring my selfishness for the past 2 years, and Luffy shouted, set sail, making everyone very happy. So, the Sunny ship has submerged into the sea, and headed towards Fishman Island. Today's video ends here. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to the channel to support Onichan in the next videos. Thank you for watching. Love you always.